All right. We don't want it on. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Perform 2018 live podcast, co-hosted with Perf Bites and Pure Performance. I'm Brian Wilson, and I'm here with Dave Anderson of Dynartrace. You are
Head of
big
marketing.
guy in marketing, right?
Yeah,
big shot. Big man on campus in
I
marketing.
wouldn't call
right?
me a big shot, but thank you.
Well, I think, having been here for quite many years, you've done quite a lot with marketing.
I have.
So it's great to see where you've taken the department.
There's lots to do in marketing, so.
There is, I imagine, right? So anyway, we're at the Perform, and you've had a lot to do with a lot of this and a lot of announcements. What do you want to talk about tonight?
Well, firstly, I'd probably just say it's absolutely remarkable to look out on this show floor and have feedback from people that say every year this thing gets a little bit bigger and a little bit better.
Right.
So my first Perform was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I think we were in Orlando. Then we did Las Vegas last year, and this is the first time we're doing Las Vegas here. We're in the marketplace. We got amazing sponsors. I can see their booths. Looks like a very professional marketplace. We've got a lot of experts out on the floor. And I'm just loving the atmosphere. And the event isn't it's sort of started,
Yeah.
but the official starts tomorrow.
But it's
So
already happening. It's been jam-packed here today.
It is. I was earlier today, I was in the Partner Summit. We had 250 people in the Partner Summit.
Yeah.
That's a big step up from last year. The hot days were sold out. They always are.
Yeah.
Great feedback from everyone. So the energy already is brilliant. So
I can't believe there's going to be more people tomorrow.
I know.
And it's funny, too, because when I look at the marketplace, I'm like, wow, it's really our performs are really starting to look like a real trade show now. I mean, like something you would go to, like a huge trade show,
yeah.
And there's all these, like, we have this gigantic AWS booth, which is the kind they put in, I remember when I first started out, we were at the Javits Center for the Cloud Convention, and there were these big ones, and it's got that look now. It's really transformed. It's amazing.
Well, it's like one of your co-hosts, Andy Grabner, says is that the cloud, succeeding in the cloud is a team sport.
Yeah.
So you're not going to succeed in this cloud environment without your partners. You're going to need people like AWS and Azure and Google, and then you need the Red Hats of the world and Pivotal, and you guys have to work together because the digital environment's so complex.
Yeah.
You need to make it simple. And that's what we're hoping to do, make it simple for everyone. So hopefully we're making this event simple for everyone. They can meet with the partners and also get an update from us whilst having a couple of beverages and networking with each other. So
absolutely. So tomorrow's going to be a big day for us, huh?
It is a big
day.
Big
announcements. I don't know if you want to tease them or.
The hardest thing. You said I've done a lot in my job. The hardest part about my job actually is trying to market the innovation that comes out of the company.
Yeah.
So, as you know, we do 26 releases a year, but there's a lot of releases that come out that slip through the radar, and you don't read about them until about a week later on the blog, and you went, we just announced that? What do you mean? That was pretty significant. And so staying ahead of our innovation is hard. So when it comes to main stage tomorrow, it was really hard to condense our innovation lab to get to just 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're going to hit our top features. So we teased a few things out. There's we acquired a company called Comram. That was a public announcement in October or November. They provide session replay capabilities. So I don't think you wouldn't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that there may be something tomorrow about session replay. And it's exciting. It's really exciting. And we've got it demoed on our booth. So and people have already been tweeting about it. So
I can't wait to get my hands on that stuff.
I know. And one of the guys who's on main stage tomorrow, one of the customers, I gave him a demo of it because I said, what's next in your environment? And he said, in your world. And he said, we're going to monitor this app and that app. And I said, but you're already monitoring like 20 apps. That's not interesting. Well, what are you doing next? And he goes, I said, let me show you this. And I showed him session replay, and he goes, oh, Dev. Oh, Dev. Is that in the product? And I went, it is. And he goes, oh, that's amazing. And he goes, we used to have, tea leaf in the past, and I don't know what happened to our license, but he goes, I'd love to see this. I'd love to be an early access customer. So that's one feature that we know is just really going to be red hot.
Yeah.
There are other features that talk about our expansion and our openness. So, we've had the artificial intelligence engine in production for 4 years now, and it gets smarter, as good brains should. And this brain is getting smarter, and we're going to be able to pull in additional metrics, which will make it easier for the teams. So there'll be announcements on us extending beyond APM.
Right.
So actually we've got to the point where, and just before I came to do the podcast, I was out in the main stage area working on things for press and analysts tomorrow. And the biggest problem we have is we're like we're like an artist that doesn't really fit in a genre anymore.
Right.
I don't know that we fit in APM. And that's why we started the monitoring redefined thing, because we were like, well, it's monitoring, but it's not really monitoring anymore.
Well, that's sometimes kind of the hard part about when we discuss with people what we do, is they kind of look like, but I never heard of anybody doing that, where we almost have that we're ahead of the curve syndrome.
Yep.
Where we have these awesome features, and maybe it's like a few months later that people go, oh, wait a minute, that's what you were talking about? Yep. Oh, yeah, please come back. I want to talk. So it's always exciting to see when that happens. And I know we have some exciting announcements for enterprise deployments, which I don't know if I want to quite spoil. Yeah, because to me,
You're leading into management zones?
I wasn't going to mention it, but yes, that to me is, I think, one to from where I sit in the field, huge development. It's going to open a lot more doors for us in so many other areas where people are like, as soon as you get this, we can use this huge scale.
Yep.
So really excited to see that and see the reaction to that one.
Yeah,
I know people have been really dying for that one.
Trying to be as much as we can to the entire enterprise, and also get feedback from our customers along the journey. So we learn from the bigger customers that we deploy with. They request certain features. It enables us to fast track them into the product, and then everyone gets the benefit of that. So, management zones tomorrow is one sneaky one that we might have let slip, but it's great. It's something that the customers really want. It's going to be up pretty early on the day. But there's a lot more than that. There's a lot coming tomorrow.
Some I didn't even hear about yet.
There's some things happening on day 2 that I can't really reveal yet, but it revolves around maybe the future of how you perceive information, and it might not be on a screen.
I know what you're talking about. I'm not going to say it. I know what you're talking about, though. Yep.
So we've been tinkering around with a few things there around 3D modeling and... Well, I'm not really giving it away yet, am I?
We're going to be 3D printing. We're going to 3D print a problem, right?
Yeah, exactly. You see a root cause, and then you can 3D it, and then you can hand that over to the development team, and then go, there's your 3D model of the problem.
There you go.
What do you think? I think it's really going to fly. The only unfortunate thing is that 3D printers take like three weeks to finish the model.
Exactly.
That's going to be a very ugly baby.
It is going to be an ugly baby.
Yeah, the other cool thing about, you're talking about the innovation and the way this goes, Andy and I have had Bernd and Anita on the show before, and a lot of us have done the presentation about our own DevOps cycle, from 6 months to 2 weeks, and that's really one of the kind of exciting things about where Dynartrace has led us to this 2-week release cycle. Where, I remember back in the old days, hey, we want all these people would ask about these features.
Yep.
And if it was 2 months into the next cycle, it would be like, there's no way getting that into this one, it's going to be the next one, so you're waiting 10 months.
Yep.
Right? Now we got 2 weeks. Yeah, we have everything that we have planned, but if some new idea comes up that we're like, oh my gosh, we hadn't even thought about that, that's hugely important, we could so easily insert that in so quickly and get that out. And exactly as our customers are trying to do, they're trying to get to that faster deployment. I think adopting that ourselves has not only given us the ability to come out with new features quicker, but also put us in the seat of our customers.
Yep.
So that we know what their pain points are. And by using our own tool to monitor our own tool, which is just a great way to be able to develop a monitoring tool. It's like, well, what do we need? I don't know. What do we need? Let's build it in, right? It's really led to a lot of great innovation that we just see. Every 2 weeks, but especially at these performs, some of the bigger ones that we get to announce it's just really awesome.
Yeah, it's really hard to figure out what should be the ones that we announce, because there's so many good ones that fly under the radar. I guess the other thing about it is it's a modern way to consume software. It's like when you're a user and you want the latest version of Facebook or you want the latest version of Twitter because it's got the latest features. That's exactly what we're doing from an enterprise software perspective, where they're able to use I think I don't know the exact stat, but it's like 90+% of people are on the latest version of the code that we're deploying, which means also as a company we don't have to support as many legacy versions of the software. Therefore, those people that would normally be supporting the older versions can be focused on innovation, which just means we continually go faster and we can put more people towards the innovation cycles than the troubleshooting and the support that we had before.
Right.
It's going really quick, which is awesome, and the platform's like it's off the Richter scale. So when we meet sort of as a leadership group, we're like, the numbers are 700+% growth, and when you start talking 700% growth in a platform, you're doing well.
Sure.
That's the easiest way to say it.
So let me ask you, tomorrow and Wednesday there are also a lot of speaker breakout sessions in between the main stages. I know you're going to be extremely busy all week. Are you planning on getting to any of those speaker sessions? And if so, are there any ones in particular that maybe if you can't make it, you're really excited about going back and watching the recorded version of?
Yeah. I don't know if this was a selfish reason or not, but last year I got stuck in main stage and then doing analyst and press too much that I didn't get to see the breakouts.
Yeah.
And so this year I'll make sure that we're filming the breakouts.
Yep.
And I made a promise that I'd sit and watch every single one of them. So I'm going to watch every single breakout, which I think we have maybe 10 breakout sessions, and that's 3 tracks. That's about 30 sessions at least. So I've got a lot of viewing to do in the next 3 months. But I made a promise to watch every single one. There's so many of them, it's hard to pick which one.
Yeah.
I look at the main stage presentations, and they're massive. You got SAP. We're going to have Virgin Money, which is a great story that I've been involved with interviewing. We're actually going to have a beer chat, which is going to be
Richard
fun.
Branson?
Well, you never know. We put a call in. But Virgin Money is going to be great. Harrods, the British traditional retailer, will also be talking about their digital transformation.
Oh, wow.
And we've got Starbucks as well. Which would be better if there was a Starbucks closer to where we are right now, because it's a bit of a walk to get one. But
isn't there one right next door, right at the...
Well, it's not within about 200 metres, which means it's not close enough.
Nothing's in 200 metres in Vegas.
That's correct. So, look, there's lots of sessions. I know the Citrix Enterprise Monitoring session's great. There's a lot. There's way too much for me. A Barbary session's always going to be good. We were just talking to Mark before. PayPal's always going to be a good one too. Yes. There's a good friend of ours, Gopal Brugalet, who was at Nordstrom previously. He's doing a session on a sea of data and why you need AI. Yep. So that'd be good. He's a bit of a veteran of Perform. So it'd be good to get him back. And there's so many. It's hard. Like it's 2 days. It's only about 3-4 hours, 30-40 sessions. It's actually, we had to kind of knock customers back. So, but we want more.
Yes. Well, there's always next year.
We're always asking for more.
Oh, look, it's Mr. Steve Pace coming by to
say hello. Steve
Pace
just stopped by, yeah. He's done the wave. He's been busy at the partner session.
Yeah,
we are live,
yeah.
You want to join in, Steve?
No? Okay, he's good.
He doesn't want, there's too many customers down here, and he's having too good of a time having a chat with them all. Great event, he says. He's given us the thumbs up, which is good. When the head of sales is giving you a thumbs up at the event, surrounded by customers, you know it's good.
2,000? Awesome.
Yep, that's what I said.
It's just going to keep growing.
Sales will never exaggerate, will they? Let's face it.
Never at all.
Never. I mean, marketing's prone to exaggerating, but sales, come on, 2,000.
Well, we SEs keep the sales people honest.
They do.
That's our job. No,
I think we're good for food.
Grigio. I'll take a Pinot Grigio, Mark, please.
We had champagne in the main room. Mark was just up there practicing for he's on main stage tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go make a point
bit of
to go
CIO research that we're releasing tomorrow.
I don't know how he's going to do on that. He's such a wallflower.
Yeah. I mean, it's serious CIO research too.
Nothing about him says, look at me. Right?
No.
Nothing.
No. He's so meek and just soft-spoken.
I mean, it was good that he wore a suit today. Like he's going to look the part. He said tomorrow I'll wear a suit. I'll get my hair cut. I'll cover up my tattoos and make it look like some really serious research that we're uncovering. But somehow I seem to think he won't. Not that I care.
Yeah.
He might wear a suit. He might wear a clown suit. Big floppy shoes.
Doesn't he already have the Chucks, the big floppy shoes?
Big floppy shoes. That makes him a bit of a clown.
Yes. What time is breakfast tomorrow?
What time is breakfast?
So our head of sales is coming by on the live podcast asking us for we're the head of LATAM. What time breakfast is? What time is breakfast tomorrow? I think it's at 7 o'clock.
I think it would be 7.
Yeah,
yes.
It was 7 today.
Yes, welcome to the information desk.
So for anybody
7
else
a.m.
listening today,
It's-
7 a.m.
it's tomfoolery left and right here, people.
It's good to see Latin America focused on breakfast.
Yes. Anything else you want to cover at all?
No, look, for anyone who's listening, a big thing for me is I love customer stories.
Yeah, so do we.
And I mean, you guys love stories. That's why you do the podcast.
Yep.
So as much as we can get anyone to come by and do a podcast with you, or do a webinar with us, or do any sort of customer story, we're all for it. We're really nice people.
Yes.
We do our best to put our best foot forward and make them. And speaking of feet, we're actually, for all the speakers that are presenting here at Perform, I'm going to get them some Converse All Stars, Dynartrace branded Smartscape.
I'd like to see if
Mark's
there's
pulling out his All Stars. I'm donning a pair right now.
Cons right here, but only one Smartscape ones.
I need one Smartscape.
No one can see.
I know,
No, they
it's
can't.
really
Hold on.
disappointing.
I'll hold the mic to the sneaker. There you go.
So we're really going to put a reward program in place for everyone who does
I'm
customer
going to have to
stories
bug
with
you
us.
for a pair, though.
Yeah, and the podcast is great. Actually, so the podcast, I used to listen to the podcast when I went to the gym when I was going through Asia, believe it or not. It took me a long time to get into it, and after a while, then I started getting addicted to it.
Oh, wow.
And then I would listen to it on the way home. I would listen to it in the gym. I'd listen to it when I go for a run.
And you're speaking in past tense, so what happened?
No, I still listen to it.
Okay,
and then
okay.
actually I learn. Andy tells me stories of I hear stories on the podcast that I haven't heard about the company, and then I hear them on the podcast, and I go up to Andy and I go, Andy, I didn't know we were doing A, B, and C, and then, next we're off. So it's a great podcast. I love the fact you guys are doing it.
So here's
Thank
my
you.
question. By the way, this is Mark. I'm back from wherever
Yes.
I was. I
And
don't
you
know
didn't
what
bring
I
me
was
my
doing.
Pinot Grigio.
I went to some. Did you want Pinot Grigio? I
said
really
it on the
struck you for a
podcast.
Cabernet kind of guy.
No, that's all right.
All
Sorry,
right.
forgive
Anyway,
you.
Did you go back and listen to old episodes? You were just going.
I have,
through the
yeah.
whole- so that's the weird thing. We get this too. People are like, that topic is like effervescent. It just keeps going on, like a testimonial problem. They'll listen to stuff from years ago. It's still compelling.
I listened to Perform last year, believe it or not, only about 3 weeks ago to try and figure out. I didn't even hear it last year. It took me like 25 releases of Dynartrace before I realised what I should be listening to from Perform.
How did you like the opening session with Bob Solzberg?
Bob Solzberg.
Bob's a character.
He's
I ran into him at
He
reInvent.
was on fire.
He was on
It was
fire.
some kind of drug he was on. I need to figure out what that was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was
He's got
what
energy.
we call, in the entertainment industry, he's what we call entertaining.
He is entertaining. Well, that's what you need. What's the point of
we
being
don't-
boring?
Apparently, he's going to hook up James to his new house in the CenturyLink.
Yeah, I saw him at reInvent, actually. We went through the whole, Alexa thing, and he's pretty impressed with what we're doing with Davis, and he's a good cat. He's a good guy.
I got to go to they had a workshop in outside Loveland, Colorado.
Yep.
And myself and Mike Villager went up there, and he was really awesome. We ran a really cool thing. So he was a character that night, but normally
Yeah.
he's a nice dude, straight up, really smart, brilliant. He was.
I think
he
he gave
put
a-
on a performance. It was
In
an
Ruby
amazing
Rabbit,
performance.
there wasn't a
He set the tone last year.
Trace chant
Yes.
going on.
Well, I think that was
First time I've
James.
heard
I
that.
think that was after James started his test chants,
No,
which
no,
we were
no,
not
they
going to
can't
go
do
into
that.
again.
No, it was Dinah. I say Dinah, you say
Yeah, but
Dinah.
James,
Oh, that's
James
what it
done
was.
his-
I
but
say
I think
Dinah, you
James
say
had done his
Trace.
I say test, you say, and we're not going to go into the rest of that one.
Yeah, that's not right.
But
It's
so,
a family show.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So I bring up Bob because he was the big interview opening night then. Right now, you're the big interview opening
You
night.
are our big interview on
Really?
the yes.
So
You guys
you're-
have got to get some more talent. Seriously, if you've got me as your big draw card, I know what's going on. I just like Byrne or someone. Andy. Andy's always good fun. There's
Everyone's already heard what he has
Florian.
to say.
Yeah.
What about some partners or
We'll get to him.
Klaus, we haven't had Klaus on very often.
No, we haven't.
You should try and find Chris Morgan from Red Hat. Where's
I
Chris
actually
Morgan?
had an interview with him from earlier today.
You got it? Oh,
We had
you
a
had
one-on-one.
one. He's a good guy. I
shift.
like him.
It was like 20 minutes worth of like intense stuff.
He's
Is
a
that
good
go
guy.
live yet?
It was
Is
really
that
good.
live?
No, I have it. I have
Okay,
to edit
cool.
it.
So rumor on the word on the street is, and this is actually a true story. Chris Morgan gets up to go through his slides, and I go, "Do you want to work through your presentation?" He goes, "No, I just want to see what the stage looks like." And he gets up. He's got about 25 slides, and he goes, "This one's good. This 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 one's good." That's it. And he goes, "All right, I'm done."
That's what.
And he's a great presenter too. It was really great feedback last year.
Piece of cake.
Awesome.
So good to have him back. We got the Pivotal guys here as well, which is awesome.
Yes.
But Josh is not here.
No, he's not. Josh was good last year. That's the
great.
podcast
Josh is no
I
longer
listen
doing,
to.
but Josh is no longer doing partner stuff now. Is what Mike tells me.
Listen, so I like Josh's.
He's a futurist.
Yeah, he was.
He's the visionary.
Right. Well, we have another futurist. Who's our futurist this year?
Oh, we have Brian Solis back again.
Right, I think
he was back last year, but he's got some new research. We got Mark Tomlinson.
Mark Tomlinson.
He's a futurist.
Yes.
And I'm definitely not, because I'm listening to podcasts from a year ago. So that's a historian.
That's the opposite.
Yeah.
You're an anthropologist.
Yeah. So I'm an archivist, and
There's a performacologist, a performanator, and now there's the
archaeologist.
performance archaeologist.
Performance archaeologist.
You've been voted in.
But I can predict the marketing future. I predicted that everyone would come to the marketplace, they would enjoy it.
Well, with the addition of alcohol and food, that makes it very.
You're not meant to mention the alcohol and food,
no.
but there are a lot of bars here.
Yeah. So we just went through the 6 points that we're going to bring up on the main stage tomorrow on the report. One of them is about AI.
Yes.
And we had the Davis introduction last year at Perform, and we talked quite a bit of it on the podcast at length. Mm-hmm. And then we're talking to futurist Josh McKenty from Pivotal about the future of AI and performance. He wandered. We got him on the spot a little bit, wandered. It's fine. Now I'm thinking AI. Here it's been a year of Davis-ness. In the back of my head, I'm like, I don't want Davis to deal with the complexity that has happened. I want Davis to tell me about the prediction of the complexity of the future. I see this component is starting to waver. Probability is it's going to die. You have N number of hours. Like when you're in a spaceship, right? Because you're in the future. The movie, Passengers? The
movie, that was a terrible movie.
Terrible movie.
Horrible movie.
I haven't seen it.
I'm not going
to now.
No spoilers, but it's really bad. But the idea is, like, all the systems are cascading and failing, but no system could, like, alert an actual, like, I think I'm going to be overloaded, and so I should do something.
Fix myself.
Right, fix myself.
The person who's feeding data into me is overloading me with data. Therefore, I'm fine.
Yeah, and I'm sort of, here's the trend that I know about myself.
Well, it's got to be the future, right?
It also has to do with
software.
drinking. If you think about how human beings who have control over their consumption of alcohol, how many glasses of wine have I had? I can predict how many more I should have before I start to stumble, slur my words, say inappropriate things,
hairpin,
commit an HR violation. These are all terrible. And here we are in a Steve Wynn facility. I just don't want to bring...
Depends when you see that as like system degradation. Is alcohol consumption causing a system degradation or an improvement? Depends. It's given a window of time,
on the goals.
Right? Yeah.
Davis would come on.
Yes.
Hello, Andy.
You've had too much.
Yes. Hello, Andy. I noticed you've had 2 glasses of alcohol in the last 15 minutes.
I've noticed a degradation in performance.
That's exactly right. So I think prediction, but quite seriously about AI, the thing that is going to separate superness from okayness, AI being used to predict, because that's the insight. Yeah. Most people are like, I operate in panic mode, I operate under pressure, and all of those the space in your head for intuition disappears.
Right.
I can't predict something if I don't have room to imagine it.
Well, Mark, I'm not going to promise you anything, but I will say we've got a head start on all this.
I do? You do.
Dynartrace has a nice head start on AI for this stuff. Yeah, a phenomenal head start, I'd say. So I think...
I will say the other thing...
If you hear from it, it'll probably be from us first.
Yeah. The other feedback I had from the tour we did down under with Paula and the teams in Asia Pacific, a lot of that was covering DevOps for the most part, but it was also sort of introducing Davis. And it was still... Every question was... Davis is just the voice thing. They had no idea of the rules engine, everything else that was actually built into Dynartrace. I think that was still, and I was pretty new to it even a year ago. I mean, it's still fairly new. But that's stuff that's been there the entire time. It
It's
was
still
part of the
simmering
original
away
vision.
It's still simmering away under the engine. We've got Davis
Yeah.
purring along. There'll be an update in the next couple of days on what we're doing with Davis.
Yeah.
It's still a marketing opportunity for us,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think people really. The main thing for them is that people can understand an AI engine when you can talk to it, when you sort of personalize it a little bit.
Right.
When you get Andreas Leyerhoven, and I've been on a couple of his presentations when he presents to analysts,
Yeah.
when he actually explains what the AI is doing, that not normal people can't figure it out.
Yeah.
And we're inundated with information, and it's hard for us to consume it. So you need to kind of almost commoditize it or make it as a gadget. So you go, oh, okay.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you go, now what's behind that? And then you go, oh, okay.
Right.
So we got a bit of work to do still to, commercialize it a little bit more, but the adoption's huge.
Yeah.
I was getting some numbers from Alois and Daniel Kahn and team, and
Yeah.
the growth rates are massive. So people are adopting it, and then we've got new innovations that are going to come with it as well, which is not just using an Amazon Alexa, but it could be all sorts of different things that
Yeah, of
we're
course.
thinking about.
The printer.
The printer, printing the 3D problem we talked about earlier.
Yeah. You'll
We
think
think
hear
that's
more
the
about this
future.
on Wednesday. You'll hear more about this on Wednesday.
Don't get me started on 3D printing.
They take a long time.
It's
Yeah, because if we get you started, it'll be another 3 weeks before you're done.
no. And there'll be like 5 extruder clogs plus the filament problem plus I'm going to have the bed is I got to redo the. Don't start me.
I don't
on
know
3D
if we've
printing.
got one here. We had one.
There is one here, actually.
Yeah, there
it's
is
an
one.
Ultimaker or something or other is here.
Is
Probably
it printing
still-
a UFO?
We started it in November at Reinvent, so hopefully it's finished it by now.
You print just the Dynartrace logo part. That's pretty easy. But the one that has the multiple overhangs at 90 degrees, impossible to print. Yeah, not for the weak at heart. Anyway, enough about 3D printing and UFOs and whatever. Hi, I'm sorry I got removed away
That's all right.
to go
I
do
think
the thing.
Yeah.
Have you had anyone give a story outside of Dave?
Not yet, because you guys were gone, and we're just wrapping back in, and yeah,
Do you have? We need to find some people to give a performance story.
yeah. We're good. Are you mic on?
Yeah, he's gone.
I'm done.
Oh, there you go.
I was going to say, look, we got plenty of performance experts here. There's about 2,000 of them,
Yeah,
and they've had a couple of drinks now.
that's the best time to get them.
So this is the time to get them.
Tell me about your biggest performance nightmare while they're liquored up, and it'll be entertainment for all.
Okay, so this is a good story.
Oh, you got
And
one.
I'm not going to say, I've got one, and I'm not going to say who the customer is. But I took this customer to Australia once and didn't get the timing right. They're a retailer. And we didn't think it through that well. And he happened to be there over Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which, he's the main kind of performance engineer in the company. And on the morning of Black Friday, they discovered that they were having some major performance issues. And he happened to be in Australia, and his business was somewhere on the other side of the world. And so that made made it for an interesting day. But what I was able to do was he pulled up Dynartrace, took us into the office, and they just showed us all the performance problems as they were occurring, but with very little ability to fix them. Live issues, shutting down certain regions in order to keep the systems running.
There you go.
Well, I want to point out our Super Bowl is at hand, quite literally. You think of all of these commercials running in the Super Bowl, all of that load is going to hit those servers as the commercials are running. And every year, there are fantastic stories of failure
Always.
that come directly out of this event. I think 84 Lumber was the most vicious story last year,
Yep.
where they spent $5 million on a Super Bowl ad and didn't spend any additional money on performance testing to make sure they could handle the load, and then all of a sudden the site goes kablooey as soon as the commercial starts running. If you're going to spend $5 million in marketing, spend $5 million to make sure the site's going to stay alive.
I agree.
You
But
know,
then
Jim,
that's marketing and IT not really working together, right? It's the marketing department. And I used to do it when I worked at a large multinational IT company, and we ran a massive advertising campaign, and we crashed it. We crashed everything at the time. And we didn't realize the media agency had to ring us and go, there's no conversions because the site's down. And I went, well, who's supposed to look after that? And this is a long time ago before I got into understanding performance. So for my bad habits I've learned, and this is my punishment now, and my sin is now I have to really understand performance.
I must ask, in the marketing department, did you ring the bell as like a success if you killed the site? There are some marketing departments.
Some do. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, we crushed it.
So the funny thing is,
failure as an evidence of success.
Yeah, wrong.
So the funny thing is, if you listen to last year's Perform, probably about somewhere between 5 to 100 times a day, James mentioned 84 lumber because it was his favorite topic last year. And I was wondering, if James is going to find a way to bring up 84 lumber.
Just a second. 84 lumber. I just wanted to say it again.
So, James, I'm very glad you did that. By the way, I am absolutely positive.
Hold on.
Lowe's.
Lowe's is also in there, yeah.
Can I ask, though, I'm not American. 84 Lumber.
The lumber store.
They have millions of dollars to spend on an ad campaign. I've never heard of them. Is that
so? If you think of they're the classical American lumberyard hardware store.
Hardware store.
So they're like a Home
My dad
Depot,
had a hardware store. I grew up in a hardware store. I should know.
Yeah.
So I know our own David Jones will probably be doing his live blogging during the Super Bowl. Oh,
no doubt.
The Super Game.
Yeah. Super Game, is it?
You're not really supposed to use. It's a trademark name.
Right.
You get in trouble for saying it.
That football game that stops America.
American football game.
Yeah, that American football game on that Sunday that stops America.
Just 1 second. 84 lumber. I just wanted to say it again. That's right. No, I think it's a lumber yard near I-84. That's what it came from, right?
So you got a pretty good marketing budget. Their marketing director's doing better than me.
We're giving them free
the
marketing
name of the
now.
company. The name of the company is so ingenious, right? I mean, here's the road.
This is the plan, right? You do an ad at the Super Bowl as a performance company. You crush it, and then you just advertise the fact that you failed. And then people like you guys talk about it on a podcast for the rest of the year. And it's free advertising.
Free advertising.
Here's the thing: there was a great write-up in Advertising Age right afterwards, and it seemed like the marketing department was looking at this as a success. And I'm like, holy cow!
Because
this is anything but a success.
Yeah, but marketing people are good at putting spins on things. So they put a spin on it to make it look like it was a positive.
But James, I don't think people were going to be like, I just watched this Super Bowl commercial about lumber. I'm going to go buy some wood online right now.
No.
So, you know what?
Okay,
they did get
people.
I would do that.
They could not go to the website.
But it doesn't matter. But who was going to buy lumber during the Super Bowl? So, in a way, they did succeed.
Me.
Yes. Oh, I need a 2. I forgot. I need a 2x4. I'm going to go see Hacksaw Jim Duggan down at the WWF because it was WWF back then. At the wrestling match. Wrestling.
Mahogany.
Yeah, that actually begs a question. What happens in the ad? Why was the ad so good that everyone just all of a sudden went, oh my God, I got to get online. I got to check out the timber.
It was about the wall.
Oh, okay.
It was somewhat political, and everyone was like, "Who are these lumber people making a wall?"
I'll make one correlation. Guys watching football are guys that need lumber.
Yeah.
So there is a demographic.
Targeted
demographic that probably...
But I was going to say the ad had to have been very good. Because if I'm sitting there watching the Super Bowl and they're advertising timber, I'd usually be waiting and going... Yeah, I think I'll do that tomorrow.
Maybe the deals were just that good.
Or maybe everyone was just into the Beastie Boys, which is the line, just give me some wood and I'll build you a cabinet.
That's a different reference, Brian. That's a very different reference.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, hey.
All right, well, I've got to bail out of here pretty soon. I'm going to go back to the main stage and make sure we're all humming.
It's extremely blue in there.
It's blue. We didn't talk about blue. You know, actually, Dynartrace, we became very blue. And I sat with our UX designer in Linz, and I said, when did we become blue? And he goes, I don't know, I thought it was you. And I went, it wasn't me. And he goes, oh. And so as a company, we've become very blue. So, I don't know, maybe this is a year of purple. Maybe it's pink.
I think you go pink. Because it's in the logo.
It's sort of a purple.
I think you go counterclockwise, you do blue, purple, and then you go pink.
So maybe this year we'll go purple.
It's actually more of a
purple is the color for seizure disorders, which my daughter has one, so we'll go purple.
We could go purple.
In honor of my daughter.
So it is looking a little bit blue, but it's pretty exciting. It's a big room. Rumor has it there's some figures from, like movie sets that are going to be there tomorrow.
What?
It's a bit of a theme going on.
Like cardboard cutouts of Ted Danson behind a curtain?
Real people.
There are some real Dynartrace people that have been asked to dress up in costume.
Oh, yes. I was going to do that, but I'm stuck doing this podcasting stuff.
Okay.
I would have loved to. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Well, you're going to miss your big chance.
I know. What are you going to do?
I was nearly said the character that was going to be there, but I'm not going to do that.
So, thank you for joining us.
Yes,
thanks for having me, guys.
Busy.
Thanks for putting the podcast together. I enjoy listening to it. And you know what? You asked me why I don't listen to it anymore.
Yeah.
I've stopped going to the gym. So once the event's over and I go back to the gym, I'll start listening to it again and go for a run.
Yeah,
but it's not a commute? You don't have a commute?
No, not really.
Some people do the podcast, they put it on like 1.25 speed.
Yeah.
With no breaks. And so we sound like chipmunks.
No, not a 1.25.
It's
It's not too fast.
Or you just sound like Andy Grabner, which is pretty much how Andy talks when he's talking normally.
He gets excited.
Oh, slow down,
He
Andy.
talks a mile a minute, that guy.
we haven't made fun of Andy enough yet. We'll do that. We'll thank you
We
for
should.
reminding. Yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
should.
no.
Especially because he's kind of ditching us this week.
That's
He's
right.
like busy doing like real work performance stuff and being a Leah. Come on.
Awesome.
Anyway, thank you so much, Steve.
So we'll look forward to the
Awesome.
mainstream stuff. That'd be awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me. Good luck with the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on the show.
Woohoo!
Thanks. All right, everyone. That wraps up this segment, Mark.
I think
we will.
Are we wrap? We're going to come back for part 2 of the welcome reception.
This is part 2. We're going to
We're
come
already
back for
doing
part
part
3.
2?
Yeah,
Is there room for part 3?
I think so.
Do we get any testimonials?
Not yet. We're about to.
Let's get some testimonials.
I'm going to get a Pinot Grigio.
You go get a Pinot
Do you want to keep
Grigio.
this running?
Let's keep it running. We'll
Okay.
just go. Part 2 is going to. It's going to be the extended play. Back
Okay.
in the day, we used to call it LP.
The LP.
That would be
Long
long
player.
play.
Long play. Brian, now we talked to you earlier, but now you're going to give us a testimonial so you can win a Bluetooth speaker thing.
Yes, please.
Brian, go ahead. Introduce yourself formally again, if you will.
My name is Brian Brumfield. I work for Folk Consulting.
Speak up. Speak in Z, up and Z.
Yes, sorry.
That's how you say it in German. I don't know if you know that.
Yes.
Speak up.
Thank you. I'll try. So I'm the Director of Performance Engineering and Managed Services at Folk Consulting.
Yep.
Formerly of Dynartrace, formerly of SOSTA, et cetera, et cetera. And I have a story for you guys. It's a good story.
Yes.
Okay. So, you just want me to dive into it?
So, what makes this a good story?
It's a happy story. It's a story
Oh,
of
oh,
synergy.
So, in the end, the prince and the princess ride off into the sunset in a Corvette, and everyone lives happily ever after.
Something like that.
That's right.
Something like that.
Okay.
Where the prince is Dynartrace and the princess is a customer and Folk is the Corvette. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
We'll go with that. Yeah.
Because, or maybe Dynartrace is a Corvette. So, long story short, Nudis, who's a partner of Folk Consulting,
Yep.
contacted us. They had been in touch with a customer who's a property management firm in the South, a very large one, probably
Yes.
one of the largest. They had a quandary.
Okay.
They were being shifted from a hosted internal ERP system for property management to a cloud-based property system, so the next gen.
Okay.
Okay.
They wanted to validate, even though their vendor told them nothing will go wrong, everything
Right.
will be great.
Right.
You will live in paradise. You will be able to stroke unicorn horns and make
Yes, rainbows.
soft serve ice cream out their butts. You know how that
Yeah.
whole thing
No,
goes.
that's what I expected.
Exactly. So they wanted to validate it. And how do you go about validating it? Well, we got on the phone with them, and within the first 20 minutes, the word Dynatrace came up.
Okay.
And I just kind of said off the cuff that, if we had a tool like Dynatrace, we could install it in your current system. We could monitor your user traffic. We could analyze it, dissect it, find your peak hour, tell you what the composition of that was, how many users were there, what they were doing, build a load model, and then test your new system. And they said, holy crap, Dynatrace just called us. Let's do it. And so over the course of about 4
So
days.
this is what you term kismet.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
Or a giant coincidental collision.
It was a great happenstance of happiness.
With
I'm
with
spinning this
unicorns
story
and rainbows and soft serve ice cream.
Exactly. So
Does this involve the squatty potty too?
No.
that's where it came from. You're very astute.
Yeah, that's
Someone watches his web commercials.
Exactly.
So So we did exactly this. That we put together a plan. We installed Dynartrace, the new product. So, it was funny. We went into this, and I've got 15 years of APM. So I've seen the good, bad, the ugly. I've gone back to Mercury days and used Wiley and everything. And we had an ops guy that was extremely skeptical. Let's just say skeptical. Crusty, angry, and skeptical. And he's basically saying, you're going to break everything. You're going to install this crap and just shit's going to rate. Can I say that?
No, hey.
Crap's going to storm down on me.
Yes, our podcast is adult rated.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do swear. I just saw a coffee cup. I swear a lot. I'm sorry. I'll try to be better. Those were lies. Go F yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So,
why are all these?
Well, where was I?
You were with the cynical curmudgeon who says installing Dynartrace will break everything.
Yes, and he said it would take forever, and I don't have time for this, and blah blah blah. Right? So within 25 minutes, these words left his lips, and I quote.
Okay, so this is the curmudgeon.
Yes, he had just done 6 installations.
Yes,
on about 12 servers, so he's halfway through.
In half an hour, roughly.
25 minutes.
Okay.
He said, wow, this was easy. And he just banged the other ones out. It was like, now we didn't even have to beg him anymore. He just wanted to do it. And as soon as they started seeing metrics, their web servers were on fire, and they had no clue. So we're talking 95% utilization across their web tier. And this is for normal daily traffic, and eyeballs are just popping. It was amazing. We went from...
my mind is like running at 90 miles an hour when you say that. But
the customer, and we had no experience with them. So this is our first exposure into the customer, right? We get Dynartrace involved, we install it, we win, Dynartrace wins over the curmudgeon.
Yeah.
We start poking at them. Using my vast resources of experience, I was able to navigate the tool seamlessly, even though I had never really touched it before. But I was able to show them these things.
Yeah.
And they were amazed, and they were sold. So that's good news. And
was there bad news? Everything didn't work perfectly.
They probably are not going to buy it, which is kind of crappy.
Oh, okay. So even though they delivered enormous value out of the box, curmudgeon didn't want to cut a check.
No, it was not up to him. But the fact of the matter was that the lifespan of that system was limited. Their new system was the web-based system.
There you go.
The vendor, I think I could say the name of the vendor, Yardi.
You can say whatever you want. It's a public airwaves.
It's an ERP system.
Yeah.
They did not want to have Dynartrace installed in their web tier.
Yeah. Because they were afraid of stupid things.
So they wanted
to
play They wanted to play the pure SaaS play, black box.
Yes.
You just use it.
And if you have problems, talk to us.
Okay.
So they built, basically under the covers, they built an elastic stack monitoring solution that was pretty damn good, frankly. So with Kibana, they were able to graph out and give us. So normally you wouldn't want to go into a situation where you have to measure one system with one tool, try to load test another system and measure it with a different tool, right?
Because you have the whole, is sample X equal to sample Y?
Exactly.
Right.
They were able to demonstrate an equivalence. I hate to say, but it was enough to get us by. So, but the good news was we were able to take Dynartrace, do that sampling, find the peak hour, decompose it. We had to write some of our own tools. Frankly, the Dynartrace tool it's evolving. It is not AppMon. It doesn't give you transaction tracing. It doesn't give you quite exactly everything you would love to have. And so we had to do some JSON extractions, and we had to do some manipulation on our side to build a user pool, if you will, understand the big picture. And we learned a couple things along the way, like if you need query strings, get them fast, because those are some of the data that gets dropped off first as the system starts to aggregate over time. So after 7 days, you lose query string detail.
Yeah,
so you can see the root URI, but you can't see the query string reference. So get that stuff fast.
That's the performance data.
But we were able to build that model, We then took that, handed it to the business people. They were able to say, okay, we know what that is. That's a create whatever. And then they, create order, file a report against a property, generate whatever.
Right.
They came up, filled out all the business process docs. We scripted it in Neoload, 20 scripts in 4 days with 2 guys.
Hold on. 20 scripts, 4 days.
4 days.
2 guys.
2 guys. 2 new guys.
Okay, so that's 10 scripts per guy in 2 days.
All right. 4 days elapsed.
4 days. 10 scripts per guy per 4-day window. So that's a little bit over 2 scripts a day.
It's pretty good.
All right, but
for a new user.
Two relatively new guys.
But you have to decide if this is enough of a testimonial for Brian to take home a Bluetooth speaker.
But I'm not done.
Yeah, I know.
84 lumber?
I mean, come on. You're almost qualifying for 2 of them
There's
at this
more.
point.
There's more. So this story.
Andreas
But if he gets 2, he can move them left to right and get stereo.
It's already stereo.
So this story of happiness and unicorns and soft serve ice cream incorporates so much about what we're here about, right? Dynartrace.
And ice cream.
Neotis, who's a sponsoring partner of
And
the
ice
Perform
cream.
event. And Folk Consulting.
Yeah.
Which is just like, I think that's the ice cream.
I think it's all
But it
ice
was
cream.
excellent. It was really good. And the customer is just super happy. They didn't have any of this capability. They had heard about Dynartrace. They didn't really know what it could give them. They felt like they were in a pickle. They didn't have a way to compare the old system with the new system. And that's what Folk really brought to the table. Brought in Neotis, brought in Dynartrace, and kicked some butt. And they are rocking.
That's pretty awesome project profile there.
I think that's worthy of a stereo pair, a watch, and a koozie.
Whatever you want to hook in them, go forth. Make it real. Thank you very much. That's a good testimonial.
My pleasure.
Wow. Very good.
Very much. And
You want me to go find some other testimonials?
well, hold on. You know who just walked up here, though?
A koozie.
What?
Is that a koozie?
Somebody
or a
just showed
cozy?
up at the booth.
Andy.
Dancing Fool.
Thank you,
For any Zappa fans. Zap Dancing Fool. Andy Grabner.
Welcome to the podcast.
Andy Grabner of
do you welcome me on the podcast?
Hey,
What do you
Andy,
need to say?
welcome to the Pure Performance Podcast.
Yeah, and I have not been here.
You should welcome Mark. Welcome Mark to the Pure Performance.
Yeah.
Wait, does this qualify as me being on the podcast again?
No.
Do you want to win the
Technically
challenge?
qualifies.
No, this does not.
This is my third time?
not
Fourth
qualify.
time.
Oh, fourth timer.
No, this will be your third, but this not.
Yeah, but Marcus
No,
wants to
when
be.
you do 2 back-to-back, it doesn't count. It's sessions. It's recording sessions. No, I set that out clear because we had a lot of people who've done back-to-backs.
Ask your listeners who are on the other end. They don't know
They can't even hear you because you don't have a mic. Here, take a mic and get on here. Now
All right.
listen, this does not count. You are not a
It
3-timer
counts.
yet.
I'm a
No.
4-timer.
You're not.
So, Mark, can I ask you a question? Do I need to hold
Wait
the
a minute.
microphone
None of
like
the
this?
perform from last year counts?
No. This-
Wow, you are tough. Andy, what's the deal? How come you're not backing me up with this?
I don't know. He's
because
he's,
I can
he's
make Andy
stronger
sound
than me.
terrible. I can make Andy sound terrible.
This year they got me on main stage.
I know they do.
I said no last year because I'm vain.
Now, if
I'm
Andy,
too self-conscious.
So listen, here's how it would work.
I'm very timid.
After your talk, if Andy and I sit down and interview you about your talk, then that could count.
Here's what's going to happen. You've seen the report, right? The 6 points.
You're not going to start talking about it now and getting it going. This isn't. No,
you should
we're
not
gonna
spoil
fall
it.
for
The 3 of us are going to we're going to do all 6 of those points on podcast episodes,
Sounds good.
and we'll simulcast it just like we do this one.
Are you just promoting yourself, your session
No,
tomorrow?
I'm promoting the report you guys do.
It's true.
Which
But
is
also your
pretty cool,
session,
actually.
We should promote your session tomorrow.
Nah, I don't fuck
Why not?
myself.
Come on, it's actually on live stream. You know that.
Get out of here.
If people want to see your you and your beautiful
So,
hair.
they don't
so
wanna see
listen, look,
me.
we know Perf Bites has a large audience of listeners, right? That may or may not still be listening.
And
They're
it
giving
might
them
be
away
bots.
with
Do you
84
know
numbers.
I had to
bots.
shave my
They're all
head,
Russian
my
bots.
head, or I was going to have to dye my hair pink with the residual amount that was left on it.
Yeah,
Hey,
I was
I
just saying
have
there's
some
not
with
a
me.
whole lot of hair left that you can dye.
Yeah,
right?
but there was a contract. We had to match hair color, and I was going to have to dye it pink, and I just couldn't do that.
So wait, before we go there, hold on, wait. So listen, you're gonna be live broadcasts. Now, if any Perf Bites listeners are actually still listening, 84 Lumber,
84
where
lumber.
can people go sign up for
Yeah,
the
how do-
live?
how do
Andy,
they
you
watch
know
the-
off the top of your head? How do they watch the live?
Live stream.
Yeah.
From Dynartrace.
You go to perform.dynatrace.com.
Perform.dynatrace.com.
Yeah. And there you see all the live sessions. You can register for them. It actually
Is registration free or is
no,
it
it's free. It's free.
So
No, no.
free? You
just
register for
you
free?
just-
So
you
wait a
just get
minute.
link.
I went to my own personal expense to come all the way here
Yeah.
to give a talk.
Yeah.
How come I couldn't just give my main stage present? How come I couldn't just do my session from my home, my own house?
Because we don't have holographic projection yet. That's
Maybe-
coming.
what if I do?
actually saw they did a holographic projection of Princess Leia that you can walk around.
Hold on, is that going to be announced tomorrow?
No,
No,
it's not us.
it's
But so go to perform.dynatrace.com. Is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
And then
You
look at
register, and then you can watch all the sessions live.
Exactly.
So you can actually see Mark in all his glory on the
Who
blue
cares?
stage. We just learned there's the
don't
blue
know.
stage, right?
I know it's very blue in there. It's very blue. Look at the Dynatrace logo. That's the blue.
Yeah.
Look at my hair. It's the purple pink.
Purple. No, that's just
So I'm just
So
moving
you-
ahead.
So you did your homework, huh? You
Anyway.
picked the right color.
Of course. The do you hear anything interesting today?
Did I hear anything? I think today I was mainly talking because I did 2 hot days. I know you guys did a hot day in the afternoon. You did a
You know
performance
what?
puzzler.
Did you find? I know in the morning session I was in the performance puzzler, people were really excited. I'm not trying to up talk it, but I found there was a high level of energy in the hot sessions, at least the ones I was in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you found
and
the
we,
same.
the people in the puzzler session, were digging it.
Yeah.
And he's your new puzzle master.
I had a puzzle.
Yeah.
He can do it.
And I also heard what the puzzle was about, which was very interesting. Right?
Wasn't it? Oh, you heard about that one, yeah.
Well, you told me in the morning. Like
Yeah.
briefly. I don't know all the details.
Yeah. It was a
Yeah,
good
but
one.
That's cool, yeah.
It was cool because
no,
it
but-
kind of just shows people how some of your basic resources you ignore, and then you just turn something else on, and bam.
Yeah. I just but coming back to your point, there was a lot of energy. What was interesting though, and I had to call out a couple of people today that were still using a browser that I don't no longer call a browser. They were using one of these things that are not supposed to be
That
used
natively
anymore.
comes with an operating system.
Exactly,
You might
yeah.
say. Okay.
And they were struggling with doing things on AWS because I did the AWS workshops today.
Yeah.
And we were using the console, and not everything works in the browser of the competitive company. So anyway, but overall there was a lot of energy. It was really cool.
Yeah.
People are excited, and I think we tried to just teach them what the future is going to look like, right?
Yeah.
Because the future applications we built needed a futuristic approach to monitoring. And I believe the future is here. It is Dynatrace.
Point number 6 on the study,
Yeah.
AI.
So
There you go.
Watch out.
You talk
Yeah.
about that whole
Watch
browser
out.
thing. What I
Yeah.
noticed this year and last year, which still strikes me as just very strange, is some people when they come here, they get a loaner laptop from their job to come here with, and the loaner laptops are locked down so much
Yeah, that's true.
they
You can't
can
even do the
barely open
workshop.
a browser. They can't do RDP, and I'm like, where are these people coming from?
I can't even use my own corporate laptop for podcasting.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it just strikes me like sometimes
No,
like
you're right.
wow.
Anyway,
and like how fortunate we have.
These
a
are
advanced-
these are called rich people problems, right? So there's a bunch of people that are making their way out.
Hello, people.
Hello.
Howdy.
We're,
How you
come
doing?
talk. You have a performance story? Come
Hi,
speak
do you want to
live.
win
We're on
a
the air.
Bluetooth speaker?
Win a Bluetooth
No, they're
speaker.
going
Come
to have
on.
a plan.
All right,
They're
tell
They're
me
going to
the
go
book.
like gamble or something.
You know, you remember the
or-
usual. The first time we did Perform 3 years ago, it was definitely an evening of scotch drinking and, hey, who wants to tell a story? And we'd spend about 5 minutes, say, you want to tell a story? You want to? And then somebody would get up and ask and tell a story, right? And it progressively got more and more intoxicated as the night went on. And the stories got weirder and weirder. I think we still had Martha listening and voting and something. We've only had one story from Brian, so I asked you if you had a story. You
From
have
who?
any new stories?
Any news stories?
Do you want to go? We're going to go find. We can. You know, we can walk anywhere in the room and find someone to tell a story.
Jeff? Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, come on over.
Think he has a story?
Yeah, he has a lot of stories.
There you go.
Jeff, come on. You've done this before, right?
Here, Andy.
I haven't done this before.
Oh, come on. You've been at,
You're live
at the
podcast-
performance
you're
before.
live on
We
the-
want you to
on the
win a
podcast air.
Bluetooth speaker.
Great. What kind of story do you want me to tell you?
Something about performance. Something from the trenches. Something learning. Something interesting. Doesn't even have to be Dynatrace, but just something compelling.
Let's
Like
see.
a holy crap, I didn't even know that kind of story.
Yeah, so holy crap, how Microsoft WCF works.
Hold it a little closer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
WCF.
Yeah, WCF. So it turns
WTF,
out,
WCF.
in Microsoft WCF, they actually use I/O threads and completion ports.
Right.
The I/O threads are responsible for actually. Is this close enough?
Yeah, moving stuff back and forth. Yeah.
Well, actually satisfying the requests that are coming in.
Right.
The completion ports are responsible for reading data on and off the wire, right? On and off the socket.
Right.
So when WCF starts up, it's the number of worker threads and I/O completion ports is a function of the number of CPUs on the box.
Each scheduler gets n number.
Yeah, by default, right?
Right.
So if it's a 4-way box, then at that point there would be a minimum of 4 of those, of each of those in the pool.
Right.
If you get to a point where you actually are using, there's 4 concurrent requests that are coming in, or 4 socket operations that are happening at any one time.
On a 4-way box.
It then has to grow those pools, and it can only grow those at 2 per second. So a second is a very long time.
It's a huge long time.
Right? So it actually causes the behavior that it
Sort
ends
of
up causing.
throttling behavior.
Not only throttling behavior, but when you actually look at a tool like Appmon, you blame the problem on the downstream service when in actuality it's the consumer of that service that's slow to actually pull the data off the wire.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, so the way you address that is you actually crank those mins up so it never has to grow those pools.
Oh, you see, like pre-allocating min in any other app server or whatever, yeah.
So the pain what comes along with that is there's going to be more memory that's going to be used
from the
within
get-go.
within that app pool.
Yeah. So you can't really do elastic downscale stuff, but you're like pre-allocating to make sure just go
so
for
that
it.
you never have that delay. You never feel the pain of that delay.
You know, oddly, SQL Server and I/O ports are the same way.
Okay.
SQL Server from a SQL CLR has multiple schedulers, and each of those, if you have a SPID that is on, let's say, CPU 3, if it opens an I/O port, you would not go all the way back to scheduler 0 on processor 0 to do your work. Ideally, if you have the same number of schedulers, the same number of processors, the same number of fiber channel adapters, the IDs, boy, scheduler number 3 hits CPU number 3, hits kernel scheduler number 3, hits I/O port number 3. Same kind of concept, maybe applied within .NET WCF.
Right.
But this is running on top of a .NET CLR. Now, in WCF, you don't have the same app pool concept that we see in other .NET pools, right? WCF doesn't. It's still a pool, but we don't call it an app pool, right?
It does.
It's not like SharePoint
Well, it runs
or
within
other
an app pool.
IIS.
Yeah,
It's still an app pool?
Yeah, it runs in the IIS. It's an app pool, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can run it standalone as well in your own container, but by default, you want to run it in IIS because you have all the benefits of IIS. Right?
So I wonder if the same sort of completion port thing applies to normal web apps, not just WCF.
It probably does. It
Probably
probably applies to
it's-
MVCs as well.
Right.
The MVC tier.
Very
So,
good. Very good.
That's my story.
All right,
That's pretty cool.
Jeff.
Thank you very much.
You have won a Bluetooth speaker and a Perf Bytes podcast. Wait a minute, and we'll give you a peer performance sticker.
Oh, I
Gotta have
need some of
stickers.
those.
You know your IT help support guys that tell you don't put stickers on your company laptop? Yeah, just do it. That's why we invented Gugon.
Thank you.
Oh, I see. That was good.
Yeah, see?
That was techie.
That was amazing.
Super techie. Hey, here comes another story.
Andy.
There you go.
You want to
Thank
share
you.
a story with us?
Yes, you were
Awesome.
by earlier.
What type of story you want?
I'll read a performance story.
Okay. So I work for banking and financial domain. I used to work in telecom as well. But the
Get
recent
right on
one,
the mic there. There you go.
Yeah.
Talk
So-
right there.
So the story is, it's like 8 months back, we
Yeah.
were using Dynartrace. And there is a trading application which we use, which was handled by 3 vendors. And we were able to find an issue on a query that was optimized after 7 years. Can you believe it?
Was not optimized?
Yes, it was not
After 7
optimized.
years.
It was running for last 7 years, and that
How bad
query-
was it?
36 seconds converted into 4.5 seconds.
30 seconds.
36 seconds. It was extraction of a report from the database.
So a heavy operation.
It was a very heavy operation, but the way the query was,
500% improvement?
yeah, the query was written as a very bad way.
Almost
by the
600%
vendor.
improvement.
Yeah. So they created a lot of joins, outer joins.
Yeah.
And they put all AND characters, operators.
What?
And they were fetching the data from 48 tables.
Wow.
So we optimize it, and
That's
we broke
insane.
down the query into 3 different stages.
Yes.
Prefetch it, execute it, and parallelly doing some background operations. So we optimize it into 4.5, 4.6.
What was the payload? Like, what was the size for
it was
an
close
actual...
to the report size. You're saying payload?
Yeah.
It was close to 300 MB.
300 megabyte report?
It's a very heavy,
That's the
bulky
final
report.
That's
yeah.
a rendered report?
So,
How many records were included?
More than, I think it was 500 next pages. I don't remember. You can click up to 500 pages. And that's a report which was a very highly intensive report used by the top management. And they
I was going to say,
needed
did
a
anybody
report.
actually read the report?
Sorry?
I was going to say, did anybody actually read the
But
report?
it might be compliance, right? So you
Yeah.
have to produce it.
Exactly.
So, but how often did the report run?
It was almost around 60 times in a day.
60 times.
And nobody figured that out after 7
Exactly,
years.
exactly.
That's
Because my
insane.
team was basically doing performance testing and engineering. They never thought of doing it.
That's pretty good.
Optimize it and then just go
I
back
like-
to the developer and tell them, okay, you can fix it. And they fix it.
That's good.
And there was a vendor who admitted it after that we fixed it. They said, yeah,
Awesome.
you told us and we fixed it.
That's great.
I like Harish's. Harish?
Yeah, Harish.
Harish?
That's an awesome
a good
story.
I came from Toronto and I work with RBC.
Toronto. So are you technically, you're actually
I work
Canadian?
as a performance consultant.
But you're
Yeah.
Canadian?
Yes, I'm Canadian.
Okay, well, I just, there's people from all over the world in IT, but Canada, I don't know about those guys.
Basically, I started on the wealth management. I started using the Dynartrace in our application
You really?
years back. Yeah.
Right on.
So did you start with
Wealth
that model or did you start on Dynartrace?
Is this your first
No, I use
Perform?
both Appmon and Dynartrace.
So-
You've been to Perform before?
No, I never been.
What do you think?
Amazing.
Did you do Hot Day today?
Yeah,
What
so-
were your Hot Day sessions?
So one was with Tim that was related to optimization of Java
Right.
application, and second was one of my key interest application was single page application because my all applications are moving to AngularJS.
Right.
So I need to learn it how to do it, and one of the synthetic way of doing it, and the way you see you remember, right, in browser you can do this F12 and then you see the network
Right.
path.
Yep.
Right. The Dynartrace is giving you a new features which you can go down in synthetic way. You can track the user and then you can. Because earlier method I was using was just import it through, right click it, import it through browser HAR file, and then do it manual analysis that
But
used
now
to take
you get
hours.
You get it by default.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you get it by default.
So let me ask you: you've been using Dynartrace, the new Dynartrace for a while now.
Appmon I started using 1.5 years back, but
Nice.
I was mostly dedicated on Dynartrace client.
Yeah.
So when this Tim and everyone came to Toronto user group,
Yeah.
at that time Tim told me, you start moving to more of app Dynartrace.
So you had no problem moving to Dynartrace. then?
No.
So
I'm just
that's nice to know.
making myself making myself used to that
Right.
web browser because
Right.
even our testing tool moved it like 8 years back. This HP moved to ALM and all those things. Earlier
right.
it was just controller, right?
Well, that's my old world.
Yeah, he's an old product manager for LoadRunner, weren't you?
I used LoadRunner, some version Mercury. It was
Mercury.
8.0.
Yeah, that's back when you could steal the license.
Yes. Yes.
No, but that was I was working in London,
Then
UK. at that
then we
time.
changed the
I was
license.
Mercury certified.
We changed the license
Even
generator so that
I
you
was
could
HP
stop doing that.
certified.
Oh, I was
I'm
Mercury
HP
certified.
certified. I'm performance engineering certified.
so
I'm
sorry.
Oracle certified. I'm
Okay.
PMP certified.
Well,
Good for all right. So Harish, you have obtained
Bluetooth
yourself
speaker. It's a
a
Bluetooth,
speaker, and the fact that you even know LoadRunner 8, you can have anything else on the table, whatever you want.
Well,
There's
not the
koozies,
mic stand or my
Take the
headphones.
green
Have
thing.
this one.
Yes.
I'll just take it. No, you can't have a microphone. That's not for sale. Here, have a Perfbite sticker.
Okay, thank
Put that on your laptop.
Yeah, my laptop is already filled with 4
No, put more. You need to find someone else you don't
Yeah,
care
you have
about.
a nice,
and put your
obnoxiously
sticker on.
large sticker too.
Yeah, lots. Yeah, it is. It's not. I don't go small. I just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very, very much. We hope you
Thank
enjoyed
you
the
very
rest of your
much.
time
Enjoy
here
the
today.
show.
Thanks, Mark.
Nice to meet you.
Enjoy.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. I
That
think
goes
we
back.
met in Toronto.
That's
You were
Andy.
there?
Wow, that's a heck of a story.
You were there.
Yeah,
remember.
I cannot
I like
believe
So you
30 point something seconds down to a 5.
Yeah, I've done more sensational stuff,
But still,
it sounds
when
like this
something
was
that was
like.
running for 7 years.
But for 7 years, it always strikes me when something runs that long that it must have been acceptable for 6 years
It
and
was-
364 days.
it kind of reminds me of like a Homer Simpsonism, where they're like, oh yeah, the query takes 30 seconds. What are you going to do? You just kind of accept it. until someone says, you know what, let's actually take a look at this. What's going on here? And someone looks at it, and then they're like, what the heck is this doing?
Yeah.
Holy...
The thing that strikes me is there are people in our industry who will look at an opportunity like that. I'm sure I'm going to help you. Yeah, well, this is easy. This is what I do. Other people are like, I'm going to keep you ignorant and punished and in pain as long as possible and make money off of you.
Yeah.
So this is something that you and I could solve with Dynartrace or even without Dynartrace in let's count it in hours.
I'm sure if you took a skilled DBA or someone skilled
app developer, system admin,
SQL even, and just took a look at it, they'd be like, yeah, you could do it
in
that
about
way,
an hour.
but...
You know? But then there's people in the industry who still to this day would be like, you know what, I could milk this. I could not solve it. I know the answer in an hour, but I'm not going to solve it for 30 days. And I'm going to bill my hours based on that. And to me, that's immoral.
That's highway robbery.
That's the capitalism. Anyway, we've come full circle. Andy, what are you looking forward to in the next 2 days? Are you going to be a stormtrooper?
Am I a stormtrooper? I don't know. I haven't volunteered to actually...
I saw the suits.
Yeah, really? Like they really have to...
I'm trying to get James, who's a big guy, to be Chewbacca. Apparently there's he could be Darth Vader.
Well, I could be Jar Jar Binks based on the dance I did the other day.
Yeah. No,
and everyone will... You'll get a lot of rotten produce.
You're a shoo-in for that.
You will get a lot of rotten produce to take home with you if you show up as Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah?
Because people
throw
rotten fruit at you, yeah.
They never really liked that character, huh?
No, I don't think anybody ever liked Jar Jar Binks, did they?
No, it was horrible.
Although there's a really interesting
idea.
Hold on, so there's a really interesting theory, and if you look up online, Jar Jar Binks as a Sith Lord, it's somebody just taking everything out of context and making a case for Jar Jar Binks is actually a Sith Lord who helped accelerate the war.
Okay.
But that's about the only interesting thing about Jar Jar is that one thing that is totally not true.
Which has nothing to do with application performance, artificial intelligence, or hypercomplexity.
But it's the Force.
Which is my new thing. This is what I'm going to push this entire week. Hypercomplexity. And here's my new word that Mark and Steve and they didn't even know. Metacomplexity.
What is that? What is metacomplexity?
Hypercomplexity would be the amount or acceleration of complexity. Hypercomplexity. Like hypothermic or hyperthermic. You're either low temperature or high temperature. So high complexity, low complexity. Metacomplexity would be stuff that becomes more complex because of hypercomplexity. So managing a hypercomplex situation, you are dealing with metacomplexity, managing the people, managing their burnout rate, managing how we share the information and collaborate, how we support one another, how we make business decisions about things that are more complex are now meta-complex.
So that means to solve that problem, you have to break down your complex system underneath to make that simple, and automatically the meta-complexity will kind of dissolve itself, and we just all hang out at the pool and do nothing else.
Andy, does this meet the BWI?
What? Here we go, yeah.
There you go.
Brian Wilson.
I told them about that the other day, yes.
Yes, that's right.
When was that? It seems like it was like a week ago, but it was probably yesterday.
It was a year ago.
A year ago.
No, but tomorrow is going to be. I like that the official conference starts tomorrow because today
it really felt like it started today. I woke up at 6:30 this morning.
Here. Everybody's here.
Took a shower, got dressed. I brushed my teeth because I do that.
Yeah,
good for you.
I'm not going to go into every detail, right? But came down, grabbed some breakfast, did hot day session 1, grabbed some lunch. Barely had time to have lunch. Hot day session 2.
Puzzle Master,
yeah.
I had to walk about 5 miles to get to the elevator from here. After puzzle session, went upstairs, took a quick little just like relax breather, came right on back. It's been nonstop day, and it's just been people everywhere. Like you've seen during the break, right? I was flabbergasted during the morning break, afternoon break. The break area is just jam packed with people because we had the partner thing, we had all the puzzles.
Well,
and tomorrow was the actual start, and we haven't even started
yet. You missed
yet.
puzzles, man.
I know,
puzzles was good this year.
Somebody had to run my whole
I've never done puzzles before.
Yeah.
The
He's
puzzles
never even
were
seen
great.
one. and he's already the puzzle master.
So did the people solve the puzzles?
Yeah.
One group solved it within like 8 minutes. The rest of the
his
groups went for about another hour or so,
yeah.
and we have to really lead them.
So how many puzzles did he go through?
We
Three.
did 2 full. Did we do a third? No, the third and the fourth we did speed round.
So we did 2 full puzzles and then 2 speed rounds together as a group, just because we were running out of time.
Yeah, people just wanted to hear more crazy
They
things.
just turned out. But I mean, the participants guide you. If they are into it, if they're liking it, they don't. You ask them, and it's like, "You guys want to do another?" Yeah, we want to do another one.
Yeah.
So this is
And
tradition for me in so many different conferences. But we've done in the last 3 performs, we've done a puzzle.
Yeah.
We did the largest puzzler, you and I
know.
which was just chaos.
Yeah.
And,
But
it's still good.
It was a good
People loved it.
experience.
Yeah.
And I think why people love it probably because it's something different too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think I love what I did today, but on the other side, it was 4 hours of, you sit there, you watch somebody do something, you try to replicate, and it's like
Right.
it's mind-boggling. It's
Right.
like it's tough.
Yeah.
Right? And at some point, after like 2 hours, you're done.
Yeah.
But the
can't take it
puzzles are
anymore.
something different, right? I like that, right?
Yeah.
They're riddles, right? They're performance riddles.
And also the other cool thing is it's the collaboration, right? You build teams.
Yeah. Yep.
And so you, like in the real world, hopefully, right?
You have to work with other people.
Well, as Mark said, it's a safe space to practice what you're supposed to do and work.
Yeah.
And the one thing that we got to tap into next year is, I believe, it might have been Rick Boyd I was talking to, our good old friend Rick Boyd, former Dynartrace employee who's still loves us and comes every single time.
Mr. Watson.
Yes, Mr. Watson.
Watson, yeah.
I think it was him who I was speaking to, who was like, you've got to talk to the ES department, Enablement Service Department, because they've got so many stories of crazy performance. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of it. We can have like years worth of performance puzzlers, Mark, if we just start gathering up from the Enablement Services teams.
So we just started. We just I had my Share Your Pew path for a couple of years.
Right.
So a lot of problems came in. Now I'm doing my Share Your Problem, your AI problem.
Right.
And basically, I think we can find a lot of.
You even have access to a lot of them just from that.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, this would be interesting. So this actually proves out. We can prove if the AI that we have actually does a good job by figuring out the real root cause. So who is faster, the AI or the human being? So we can call it challenge the AI.
Can we tell the AI, Davis, you can only ask 3 questions: a workload question, a resource question, or a configuration question.
The only problem is Davis is based on our one agent, and it sees so much more data. So it's an unfair advantage, but still, it would be interesting.
It's kind of who's the guy who went against went against Watson? Ken.
Ken.
Yeah, it would be sort of like
Anyway.
that. Anyway, thanks for dismissing me like that.
I just had a thought. I don't want to lose it.
Anyway.
And, there's wine.
84 Lumber.
And pork.
Go on.
Did you like the example question? Where's the beef?
Yes.
Every one of my puzzlers, the
But you screwed them
opening
up because
sentence
it was where's the beef
has all
and it
the
was about
hints in it.
Pork.
Oh, I know, but that's just it. Everyone says USDA, it's beef. Where's the beef?
But it was about, the animal in question were actually hogs.
Yeah.
Because he expected people to be able to figure out it's Midwest, and some people are supposed to know that in the Midwest, that's where hog farmers are. I wouldn't have known.
Not at altitude. You don't have pigs at 6,000 feet.
Why not?
Pigs don't like being at 6,000 feet.
Cows do? You think cows do?
I don't know why. I have no idea why.
All right, so you've
What was
forced me to do
It was
this.
a dark and stormy night.
Yeah, but you forced me to do this. You brought up cows.
Oh, no.
I'm becoming more and more known for my bad cow jokes.
No, but,
So can I tell one of my bad cow jokes?
all right, fine.
I think I see the audience telling yes. So Andy, this is for
No,
you too.
It's wonderful.
Okay, so a cow, a priest, and a rabbi are in a car, and they accidentally drive off a cliff and they all die. So the point of my jokes is they're not funny, right? So they all die and they go up to Heaven's Gate with St. Peter there, and St. Peter takes a look at the 3 of these characters and he's like, okay, priest, I get why you're here. Rabbi, but okay. Cow, I got no idea why you're here. Guys, why did you bring a cow up here with you? And the priest and the rabbi look at each other and they're like, I don't know, the cow's always with us. He's just always with us. And I guess he got up here, so you're going to let him in with us. And St. Peter's like, well, I really don't know. I've never dealt with this situation before. We don't have any cows in heaven. I'm going to have to go have a meeting with all the other saints to find out if we can let the cow in. So he goes back to all this big Saints meeting and explains the situation. And after finishing his pancake breakfast, St. Alfonso chimes in. There's a little Zappa reference for you. St. Alfonso chimes in and says, so wait, let me get this straight, St. Peter. You want to tell me a priest, a rabbi, and a cow get into a car crash, they die, and they come to heaven. What is this, some kind of a joke? And St. Peter says, yeah. Thank you very much. Told you, the joke's on you for listening to me. I got a lot of them.
Wow.
And I'm not even drunk. I will say that. I had 2 wines.
That was terrible.
That's my brand of humor.
Okay.
The
All
joke's
right,
on you. Anyhow.
So, thank
Andy
God
was
your
enthralled.
podcast is like about performance
Yes.
and stuff. I think from now on you need to have like the Brian's joke corner.
I
on
got
the
more.
podcast.
I'll tell more during the
We'll
week.
do-
I'll tell one
Just
tomorrow.
do it.
Yeah.
You've got more. We got more. Hey guys, do you want to share a performance story and win a Bluetooth speaker? Tell us some
a performance
horrible
story.
story about performance.
Our colleagues from Linz.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Did you ever have some horrific thing that happened to you around system performance?
Tell us a good story about performance.
Terrible code, some catastrophic failure.
Or a horrible experience with Andy.
No terrible code, so.
Did you ever?
You
make
don't wanna
some-
say
Did you
anything?
ever? Did you ever like? So you're a developer.
Yeah.
So did you ever write something and then be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I checked that in. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
No,
Good
it's-
thing
no,
nobody
it's-
noticed it and I caught it before it happened. And maybe Dynartrace helped you catch it.
Maybe it's
not.
like white works. So you write code and then, oh my gosh, I didn't believe this will work. That's really. Let's think about it again.
Like that shouldn't have worked,
I have
Like-
no idea why this works, but it works.
but it
could
works.
be.
But wait a minute, it could be doing things that you don't know it's doing.
Is it mining
No,
Bitcoin?
Like it's sort of working.
Never.
Is it mining
It's
Bitcoin
working,
in the
but
background?
maybe it's doing things that you don't know it's doing.
No, that would never be the case.
Really?
Never.
Never,
I
ever.
always know what
I don't
I'm
know.
doing.
Here's guys, when I copy and paste from Stack Overflow, and
oh.
that's how I do my What? That's a perfectly valid. That's a developer thing, right?
Right, yeah.
I thought no
It
one
is a
noticed.
developer thing, yes.
Yeah, and then you work it to try to, and then you're like, oh, it finally worked, but it could be doing something that you didn't even know. Like if you're
Yeah,
a
of
junior
course.
developer, right? Oh, I just threw it in production, and all of a sudden you're like, how come it's calling this thing over there and a thing over there and my mother and my phone? And you're like, I don't know, I just put it in there, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. actually.
What about?
But yeah, it could happen.
Well, what about bad performing code, like a database situation? Trading data, munging data, any coding problems?
Lots
Like-
of allocating.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you ever crash the app?
Never.
Never.
No, really. What is the big trap? Like if you're a developer, what's the one thing like this is a trap performance wise? Could be looping, logic, something. What is the thing that always gets you?
Sometimes there are endless loops that you didn't expect. So, for example, when some of my customers would implement code or use frameworks that I would build a wrapper for,
Yeah.
and build the wrapper so that it works even if they override the original functionality of that framework.
Yeah.
And suddenly in one of the cases, in one customer out of hundreds, they have an endless loop. And we have no idea why, but it happens and it destroys the complete page if we are injected. This happens. Sometimes. And often you have no idea why, but in the end, we mostly find a way to get around this.
What makes it endless?
What makes it endless?
Like nobody intentionally writes an endless loop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But why did what is the mistake of an endless loop?
So in our case, I'm working on a JavaScript agent. It's mostly the case when we are wrapping code, for example, framework code or native functions of the browser or something like that, and the customer wraps that code, and then we try to wrap it again because we notice that this isn't our wrapped code. And that we wrap it again, and then this whole...
So it sort of wrapping and then wrapping again and then wrapping again and then wrapping again. And nobody's actually wrapping like on a microphone. It's just endless wrapping.
Not really.
But seriously, there's some logic that makes a choice. I need to wrap this. I don't identify it, so I need to put it in my own class and put a wrapper around it, and then I'm looping on that. And then another wrap. Yeah. Oh, wow. So it's not necessarily like an endless loop. It's almost like endless nesting?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually almost always endless nesting.
Yeah. I see this in Spring quite a bit. Like people that wrap stuff and they don't understand what a Spring framework, for example, would do. And they'll end up wrapping something in Springs like, I don't know, and then you end up with this super cascade, right?
So Gernot, you actually mentioned you're working on a JavaScript team. So a very key component, obviously, to our real user monitoring. So first of all, thanks to that, because I believe this is one of the cool features that people get excited. We had the guy, who was he? He said he's so excited that he can see all the waterfall details. So when they are looking, he was the Canadian.
Harish.
Yeah, Harish, he was here. And he said he loves the fact that he sees from every user the waterfall, and that just saves his day. So thanks for that. Like belated, right? Belated, thank you.
No endless loops in that.
Almost.
That we know about.
Now, what's the new cool thing that you guys are working on? If you're allowed to say.
No, don't make them think.
Not sure if I'm allowed to say.
Yeah, don't say I'm not allowed to say it.
I'm not allowed to say.
Is it related to the big announcements?
Come back on Wednesday.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyway, if it's something about tomorrow, as a reminder, people can watch the live stream tomorrow.
Again, what's the URL?
Perform.dynartrace.com, and then you'll find all the stuff.
Here we go.
So, but anything else? Anything new on the JavaScript side, on UEM, on real user monitoring? That's cool to mention.
Look at he's just drilling you for details.
Of course.
I just wanted a story so you could win a Bluetooth speaker. That's for you now. And a sticker.
Great, thanks.
See, now Andy's just trying to get you for more information.
I want to learn. I have a chance to learn from the engineering team.
You're an employee. You can't learn.
But I think we're going to be getting more functionality from the CSS selectors. Isn't that true?
Yeah, you will get. So
we will.
There's a lot of features.
That's what I'm waiting for.
A lot of features that make single-page apps captured better. So more web requests captured to the correct actions and so on. So that's coming.
Cool. Very cool.
What else? Stefan, do you want to say anything? I know you're working on a pretty cool project, but I'm pretty sure.
Stefan, what's the sexiest thing you've ever coded?
You will see on Wednesday. So
sign up for the live
yeah, sign up for live stream on Wednesday.
Morning, afternoon?
Starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. So
hold it closer.
When are you on stage? Are you on stage?
No, I'm not on stage. It's just we are backstage, just preparing the demo, which will Bernd and Alois will show.
Cool.
So I'm really excited about the thing.
And is it also, I know over there's a little box. Is this something that we demo?
Yeah,
here?
afterwards you can experience this demo on yourself.
Cool.
So really being there and
Cool. So for the people that are actually in Vegas at Perform, Wednesday after the big announcement, come over to the Innovation Lab and check it out. Innovation Center, yeah?
Cool.
That's pretty nice.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
Thank you guys very much. No, he actually said something on the microphone, so we'll give him a Bluetooth speaker.
Exactly.
Or a cozy for your beer.
No, I think a Bluetooth speaker.
In true Austrian fashion, you got to take care of your beer.
That's true.
Isn't it the national drink of Austria?
I believe so. I think we're number 2 behind the Czech Republic in beer consumption per capita.
Okay.
So I think it is. We can be
you're
considered.
close.
Yeah.
I got to come find out for myself later this year.
Thank
you guys very
my wife
much.
Is going to be
and you've been on the podcast. You got a sticker, right?
Yeah, I got a sticker.
All right.
Where's the other place in Austria? Not Linz, but
and thank you for everything you
bigger
wrote.
city.
You mean the only other place in Austria besides Linz?
Yeah.
Austria's not that small.
Thank you, guys.
Dankeschön.
What's
You mean the capital of Austria? What could it be called?
Like,
Come on. the capital of Austria.
Give me the first letter.
It's not Sydney.
Give me the first letter.
Australia.
First letter.
In German
Wien.
or Wien. Here we go. Wien is the German name of the city.
Which stands for Wiener.
Vienna, yes.
Yeah,
My wife's
we
going
got
to be in
that
Vienna
Oh,
in a few
actually-
months. For
No,
work.
really?
It's
What is she
Wiener.
doing?
It's Wiener.
What?
You actually pronounce it Wiener. I don't know if you know that.
When?
Wien. Guys, what is this? Some kind of Zen
No, we're playing a
meditation
game.
thing?
Do you ever, this is the
No.
old Dirty Bastard game.
No. No, not on
Who can do
live
this- who can do this
podcast.
last- Who can do this longest? This is
It's
the best
live,
thing.
though.
Hey, I just have to.
She's going to be...
My wife just texts me. She's going to bed. Good
Okay.
night.
Of course,
Good
it's
night,
almost
Gabi.
midnight.
Good night,
I know.
Gabi.
She should go to bed.
She's not listening, though.
I know she's not listening.
That's
No.
unfortunate.
She
She
had
probably
a
has no
fight.
interest in what you do.
She had a fight with her VPN. She wanted to send some emails late at night, and then she said, "Oh crap, VPN," and anything.
That's Martha is sending me the Bitmoji of the good night, Martha. Yeah, so
She's telling us she's tired of listening to us.
yeah, no kidding. I would
Thank
be
you for
tired
listening,
too.
Martha, if you're there.
I don't know.
If you're listening, Martha,
But we've got
I
about
love your...
2 hours of broadcasting.
I love
How
your...
was
I love
part
your...
one?
Wait,
How long
Martha,
was part
I got to
one?
say, Martha, if you're listening, I love your artwork. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah. You know where you can see more? Anothermoon.org.
Yes.
And
Great stuff.
anothermoon.org.
Great stuff.
How was the food
Where?
today?
I don't know. I had
I
to
had-
skip lunch, and I had to skip.
On the mic, I had the I think a tuna tartare.
I've got
thing.
some beef jerky upstairs if you want.
I had some pork that was good.
Yeah, I had the
Spicy
tuna tartare
pepperoni.
too. That was good.
Things are winding down here at the
Yeah.
reception. You can see everything's getting
There's
cleaned
still
up.
some
There's still
desserts
some
over there.
some desserts.
Cookies.
Hey, by the way, we talked about beer earlier, Austrian beer.
Yeah.
You know that there's another beverage from Austria that I have with me.
I know
For
you,
yeah.
but
What
you
do you
need to
have?
bring it to the podcasting booth tomorrow.
I know.
night.
I know. I need to talk with Alois because he actually brought it over.
Yeah,
I
saw him
What's
before.
it called?
Austrian whiskey.
Oh my gosh.
It's really good.
Please,
Yeah.
I'll bring
Like
my
really
Lafroig.
good. He's got Lafroig.
got
Tomorrow,
Lafroig in my
it's
room.
actually,
from-
all day long we should just be drinking.
We should.
I mean,
We're entertainers. Is what we do.
that's right. So let's give a little sign off.
Yeah, I think we should do a sign
We'll
off.
sign off from the welcome
Andy-
reception here in Dynartrace Perform Las Vegas 2018.
2018.
If
Can
you just
believe it?
happen to be in the Las Vegas area and you like performance,
Yeah.
now let's be computer performance. Let's get really clear about that. I wanna
what
make
else could it mean?
No, it's just well, I mean, they do have the convention of the porn people here. You know that, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Mark.
Like
about
CAS,
that,
they have
yeah.
like the pornography industry.
Mark.
I mean, everyone should have a no judgment. They
Just
have
because
a award
we're-
show and the whole nine
Just
yards.
because we're in
And-
Steve Winstown. I mean, come on.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, some people find it repulsive, but that to that end, you know. But still, dancing is performance, acting,
Yes.
drama,
So,
Coding is
TV,
performance.
so we're talking
performance.
about computer performance.
computer
Okay.
performance. If
Yeah.
you're
Or
a computer
salsa
performance.
performance.
Hey,
Come here as
Reinhardt.
well.
Without
Oh,
the
Reinhardt.
Lederhosen.
Yeah,
Look at
Reinhardt.
that.
He's
Yeah.
not. He doesn't. He doesn't want to come give
I
a
think so.
testimonial.
I think so.
I think we're going to get Reinhardt on the
yeah.
mic.
Yeah.
Is.
Yes.
Der Bäcker.
Check.
Wie geht es Ihnen?
Guten Tag.
Wie geht's, mein Bruder?
Good. How are you?
Ja, ganz gut.
Nice hair color.
Ja, danke.
Yeah.
Do you two know each other?
Oh,
From the last performance.
We've met.
No,
in the
ein
last
bisschen.
perform. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
So we have
I got a stopwatch.
the one and only.
you did last year. That's
Yeah, I
right.
did.
We've got Brandy here.
So we're giving away Bluetooth speakers.
If you could share something about performance.
Anything you've learned in the last year that just sort of blew your mind? Like I had no idea we could be that stupid.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like a performance story where you're like,
pick one of the
I thought
stories.
I thought I've seen everything,
Pick
but
one.
now, why on earth?
no,
Like something
that-
sensational.
That's a private performance story.
No, it's
don't wanna hear
a
that.
family store. It's a family show. You can PG-13. You can.
Computer performance. Computer performance.
Computer performance. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything sensational in the last year that was like surprised you?
Well, also, I think
I
you're-
left Dynartrace, right? So that's a sensation.
But you're still here at Perform.
I'm still
yeah,
here,
because you're
so-
now with a big partner.
Where are you working now?
Shifting from Dynartrace to Hybris. So
Which we all
Yeah?
knew would happen one day.
yeah.
Did
Everybody
is he
knew.
part of helping you figure out the Apache threads issue?
No, that was all me.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about that one
So
later.
I'm just continuing the performance story on the other side, right? 7
Yep.
years at Dynartrace for Hybris. Now the next 7 or 17 years
At Hybris
at
for
Hybris
Dynartrace.
for Dynartrace.
70.
70
So
or
you
70.
realize we might be the first generation of immortals because of the technology for medicine replacing your organs and things. So you might have, you think your career, I'm going to retire in a few years, you might be working for another 400 years.
Oh shit!
Really? Right? It's insane.
That
But
was bad.
Hyperswise, what's
Look at that. There's more people coming in.
any sensational stories from the
What's the
Hyperswise?
craziest performance issue you've ever seen? Or one of them. It doesn't have to be
Computer
the worst.
performance.
Hyperswise, yeah.
Yeah. Where you've been like, wow, that was
Database?
really...
So many. No, it's not database.
And you have some.
No, the craziest was actually the largest solar query that I've ever seen. The solar query string alone was 32 kilobytes of text query. Right, this is like an SQL statement.
Yeah.
32 kilobytes.
And this is solar, not solar in the sun, but solar like the
Solar.
Zookeeper shard array of
Apache Solar.
Right.
That was actually on a high-risk platform.
Yeah.
And that the most critical thing is that it was ignored for a year.
Wow.
So, and that query alone reduced the page load time by 6 seconds.
It's very similar
So it
to
was
what
like
we were doing with
the
Haroon
page load
ship.
time was 6.7 seconds, and the solar query was 6 seconds.
6 of the 6 points.
And that was ignored for a year.
Wow.
And
And
after-
solar's supposed to be fast.
Well, it depends on the implementation, right?
Usually,
What was the root cause?
Usually it should be 20 milliseconds, and
Yeah.
it was like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So, but it's a similar story to earlier,
Haroon,
where the
yeah.
database
Right.
statement
So
was
we
ignored
had a
for 7
database
years.
statement that was 30-point-something seconds long.
Right.
They got it down to 5 seconds.
Solar should pretty much be living live cache in memory. So what turned out to be the root cause?
No, it was just like a really, really complicated facet search with attributes after attributes. So it was basically the query was built with a loop that just added stuff. So the query
And it
was
went, and it transversed all the shards.
Yep.
Yeah, because usually if you hit a single shard, you can get a sequential read and load it in memory, and you're done. But you go across all the shards, you spread that I/O in serial form.
And the impact of that performance problem was actually heavy discussions about on the commercial side.
Right.
They quit the contract because they didn't perform, etc., etc.
Wow.
It could have been solved within minutes.
Within
But it
minutes.
Well, we found it during a training session. Okay, let's look at this environment. Oh, there is the problem. Let's tell them, let's fix it. We told them, they didn't fix it for a year.
Oh
During
my
that
gosh.
time, all these commercial discussions were ongoing. Oh, your implementation, your cloud service sucks.
Yeah.
We're not gonna
Business
prolong
impact.
the contract. We're gonna quit because your service sucks, etc., etc. Long night discussions ongoing. The customer eventually left.
Did they really?
They left.
That's terrible.
Well, not us. Well, also us,
Right,
I guess. But also the service provider.
Wow.
They left because they didn't want to admit that.
That's
actually
major. That's
their-
bad.
Their bad implementation.
So that's a
All
direct impact of bad performance to business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
Especially
a
when
very
people
high
won't admit
level.
it.
So let's just have a moment of silence for Reinhardt.
Lumber 80, 84
All right, there
lumber.
you go. Lumber 84. 84 lumber. Lumber 84. You have won yourself a Bluetooth speaker, my friend.
Thank you very much for participating.
Look at that.
Look at that. Hello.
Yeah, it says hello to you. It's very nice.
Oh,
It's exciting. Yeah, and he's disassembling it right
cube
there.
means
play music.
It's not that easy.
Oh, damn it.
and a cube. Well, people. He was saying Alexa too because he's off mic. So
Yeah.
he was-
Not everything is Alexa.
He didn't even try to power.
I mean, you
it
might
on.
find a human being that's actually named Alexa.
Oh.
I mean, that's a very different kind of arrangement. Again,
Alexa,
we're
play
focused
music.
on computer performance.
My girlfriend said, "Don't do anything stupid in Las Vegas."
Yes, you should not. That's good advice.
You'll have to
really-
figure that out later.
Really good advice. That'd be excellent.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Okay.
There is now Alexa for seniors, Alexa Silver.
Really?
Yes, look it up on YouTube. It's
There's
great.
a really hilarious also. So coming from the East Coast, where there's a lot of
Ooh,
Italian
I don't know
Americans,
about that.
Yes.
there's a really funny Alexa video with this old Italian lady. No, but it's for Google. It was a Google one. It says like Google. They're like the people are trying to get their grandmother to talk to
Podcasting
Google.
at the last call.
Yeah, last call.
Last call. Go
Someone
get a
get
glass
me a
of wine.
Pinot Grigio, please.
Right there,
Yeah.
right there.
Please
right in
go.
the middle.
Please
Okay,
go.
I'll
Pinot
come.
Grigio, right
Over there. He'll get you a glass of
Go
wine.
get me a Pinot.
Get
Please,
us some red
please,
wine.
I beg you. I
No,
beg
you
of
can take the mic with you and keep talking.
All right, now I'm talking to two mics. I'm
No, that's
stereo.
scary. You look like Dick
Stereo.
Dale. Two. He plays two trumpets. Did you know that?
You know, we
He
opened.
harmonizes
Dick
with
Dale's a
himself.
guitar player.
Oh yeah, but he plays trumpet. You know the famous Misery Lou, the
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction. he actually plays the trumpets on that song, and he plays them simultaneously in harmony.
And did you know that I once opened for Dick Dale at the Wetlands in New York City, my old band Ghoul? Not Watercolor Movement, band Ghoul.
Brother,
hello. Nish.
Do you want to share a performance
Sorry.
story with us?
We keep on... All right.
Really?
We'll
You-
come by
you
sometime
can't-
this week. If you have... I mean, I know you got stories. You're going to come by and tell us a
think
performance
of a
story.
compelling disaster story about performance. Bring it to us.
All right, this is Nish. We'll see you later. All right, Mark,
This is
let's
what-
wrap this up, I think.
Well, it's a little bit chaotic.
It is. It's the first night.
But, I got to say, I remember Perform Welcome Reception last year. If you go back and listen to it on both of our podcasts, it was chaotic.
Yes.
It was insane.
There's Daniel Kahn. Hi, Daniel Kahn.
So it's good. Always.
Last
That's our-
call
the
for
DJ,
alcohol.
last
Honestly,
call
that
for alcohol.
DJ, that Dead Kennedy song.
I'll have
Last call
one
for
bourbon,
alcohol.
one scotch, and one
See if
beer.
we get Dead Kennedy's going.
It
Oh,
always
look at this!
strikes
Look at
me.
this! Look at this! We have
Oh, thank you, brother.
Andy and Reinhard doing our bidding.
Yeah.
Probably a one-time
Dankeschön.
event ever. I appreciate this so much, fellas. Cheers.
Have a perf bite.
Nostrovia, Spekakuma, Prost.
Kampai.
That's Lithuanian.
Salute.
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 Salute. L'chaim. So the thing that strikes me, Brian, is this is my third year doing Perform. Is
Second year for
the
me.
people like? There's a lot of people that go to a lot of conferences,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people that come to conferences just because they're wasting time.
Right.
And you would say people come to Perform because they're performance people.
Yep.
But we find people here who are true geeks, like performance techie geeks in our puzzler session, and they come and they get on the mic, they feel safe enough to just be acknowledged and let their geek out.
Right.
I find it here 3 years in a row, it's still to that event. It still has all the polish of the sales and marketing and the events,
Right.
still has a main stage, all that. But when we're doing the podcasting thing, people who maybe never speak up get on the mic and they share these amazing stories.
Yeah.
In the puzzler session, we found people who may be kind of
They were
quiet
great.
introverts, but they were collaborating.
Yeah.
And I always love that about Perform. I don't know what your
Yeah, well,
observation is.
the thing I've always noticed, like, and I was a customer of Dynartrace for 2 years before I joined, and best decision I ever made in my life. Getting out. So, just a quick side note to anyone listening: if you ever get a chance to get out of the real world and go to become an SE,
Right.
where at the end of the day your day is done and you don't have to work on release cycles anymore,
Right.
best thing you could possibly do.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
No perpetual torture.
no, you don't have the perpetual torture.
Just short-term torture.
Yeah. But the one thing I've always noticed about Dynartrace, first as a customer and then as an employee, is that the people who understand
Yeah.
what Dynartrace is doing, when they get it, they're like, oh my God, this is great.
Yeah.
Right? And it's the people who, like, oh yeah, it's kind of, we've seen that, I kind of use that, this and that. They just haven't really spent the time with it. Once it dawns on you,
Yeah.
and once you're like, oh my gosh, why am I, and again, I'm not trying to be an advertisement for it. This is me speaking from my heart. I don't know if I could ever do this job for another company. I do it for Dynartrace because I love what we do.
And these people, yeah.
And that's what you see with the people here, because it's not like people are here and they're slacking off and they're all, we're in Las Vegas. They could all be slacking off in the casino all day. Last year Perform, so far the hot days, all the rooms are full.
Yeah,
You
they're
know?
packed.
It's not just like,
In
hey,
fact, we're
I'm
over
gonna-
capacity.
Hey, company, I'm going to go to Vegas for a conference, and
And this year, it's another nearly 100 people more came to Hot Day than last year,
Yeah.
which is still like almost double from what it was 3 years ago.
yeah, so it's
huge.
definitely exciting.
Yeah.
What did you say,
James, what was your? I was just saying I love Perform because of the people and the fact that you get people that maybe would have never spoken up about their experience, and they will get on the mic with Perf Bites and us and tell their story.
So we have 2,000 people here,
More than 2,000.
more than 2,000,
Yeah.
all focused on performance,
Isn't it a
one way or
wonderful
the
thing?
other.
Why would we not be here?
Application performance.
Remember the years when there was no thought of performance? It's
No.
so wonderful.
You know, I don't smoke, but at the end of the day, I'm thinking a good cigarette after each of these days. It's
Isn't that good?
It's
that good a day for you?
I'm thinking we go to the Whiskey Attic tonight, have a sample of 10 whiskeys, a cigar, make an evening of it.
That sounds pretty good.
Just going down memory lane, you remember when the iPhone came out, right? And
Yes.
to me, when the iPhone came out, there was a watershed moment for performance. Because never before, I don't think, unless correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think ever before performance was mentioned or talked about in the news or anything else before. It was like, okay, there's developers, there's programs, there's web pages, developers, and it was this, it was all the different parts of it.
Right.
And when people would say, oh, you do performance? Well, what's that?
Oh, okay.
This thing.
So I've been doing this for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Performance was mentioned.
Big time?
No.
Yeah, but
I mean, it hit
Okay,
mainstream.
so-
It hit
so-
mainstream
okay,
with the
so-
iPhone.
so-
Only when there was serious pain. But I have to say, we're trying to wrap up today.
I know.
And what you've done is opened a can of worms with the pulley monster.
So I will
You
grant.
like the green thing? I like the green thingy.
So I will grant you that performance as a very personal thing, once you had a personal device.
No, but this was trying to buy the iPhone when the Apple site would
yeah.
crash, AT&T would
okay.
crash, and suddenly it was like, oh my gosh, it couldn't handle the load. I'm like, that's what I do. Mom, Dad, look, that's what I do. I make sure that stuff doesn't happen.
Oh,
Finally, people could
Innocent
understand.
consumers
I gotcha.
finally
I
became
gotcha.
aware that that's important.
You could finally point to something in the real world to explain to people what you do.
And some
and
lame-brained
now we
product
have a
manager
show
would actually
that,
get told
And
performance
now we have
is
2,000
important.
people at our show here.
Yes.
And performance is the top of the jour everywhere. It's a
I
changed world.
got to tell you, I first gave one of the first talks I ever gave at a Mercury World. Not even Mercury World. It was just the early Mercury conference
in Orlando.
at the Swan and
Dolphin.
And there were 2,500 people there
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
And I gave the advanced load runner talk. Most scared I've ever been. Could not breathe on the stage. And you know what? Those people really had almost no power. They weren't even quite influencers in the greater account chain.
They were tool users.
The main stage was incredibly sparse at a Mercury conference. It was mostly, I'm the director of IT, was the best you could get. Now you have main stage at a Dynatrace conference has
A
CIOs,
C-level
CEOs,
executive, yeah.
and like visionary futurists concerned with the subject. So
And pink-haired freaks.
yeah, that's going to be fun. It'll be crazy. All right, so we're
And
going to give
Uncle
a thank
Fester.
you, Uncle
Yes.
Fester. So we'll give a thank you from the welcome reception. What can people look forward to if they dial in the next 2 days?
Tomorrow there's going to be some great new product announcements of some new features and functionalities that are
We'll
going
have
to
some
finally
more
be available.
stories from
we
people.
we heard some discussion about it from Dave Anderson. There's going to be a lot of customer stories, including you're on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
But Mark, so Mark's going to be talking about PayPal. There's a lot of stories from customers, real companies talking about real life things, how they use Dynatrace. So if you do use Dynatrace and you're like, we want to figure out how to get more out of it, you can hear how people are getting more out of it.
I think this study that we're announcing.
Yeah, well, I don't know
on stage.
anything about this.
So I bring up the 6 points. We should go back and talk about these 6 points in the study. It's actually a survey briefing from a collection of many CIOs talking about stuff. But we'll bring that up in the next few days. Each of those subjects, which go into hyper complexity,
And
meta
meta-complexity.
complexity, and AI,
The
and
BWI.
cost. Really interesting stuff. The BWI, exactly. The Brian Wilson indicator.
Yes, all right, excellent. Well,
And of course, more fun and mayhem, and then the ultimate giveaway. What's our
what
ultimate
do we give
giveaway?
away? So Santi, who won the
I saw him.
he's like,
He
what are
got
you
the
giving away
drone.
this year?
So we're giving away, at the very end, the best story. We have to reflect on our stories. An Amazon Echo, which would be that
Yes.
can run Davis,
That's-
right? Because
that's
you can run
standard,
Davis. Davis can run on an Echo or an Alexa, right?
Right.
Or so we'll get an Amazon Echo combined with a Dynatrace UFO.
You know and you know what? I think the UFO
Because that represents both of our podcasts.
right, and I think the UFO is probably the more valuable thing of the giveaway.
Money-wise, it is, but
Yeah.
that's not the point.
I know, but I'm
The
just
point
saying.
is you could
I
build
looked-
your
I
own
was like-
Dynatrace AI UFO setup from this.
And then talk to it with the Echo.
Yeah.
UFO, get me out of here.
Which is what we did on the road show to Australia last year, where
Yes.
we missed you.
Yes.
And Andy had an Amazon Alexa.
By the way, I'm going to put a UFO in my next house.
Yeah.
I got to play
You know
with
what
the
I'm
UFO.
waiting for? I'm waiting for the mini UFO.
It's pretty small already.
The
but-
MUFO?
I want one that's a quarter, like that big. Just this, like seriously, half
the
the
size of the Echo Dot.
Right, so you can almost mount them
hockey
on top.
puck.
Yeah, yeah.
So design your own. So the fun thing
Well,
about
you can't fit an Arduino in there.
The fun thing about the UFO was I went ahead and did one of these a meetup about our 6-month 2-week waterfall, whatever.
Right.
And part of that display is the UFO, right? And so we set up the UFO, and we based it off of Andy did a presentation on the stuff.
Right.
So I put it up there, and I'm like, oh, and because we're at a Java meetup, so I go, oh, and for anybody who's close enough to connect to it, you can interface with it,
right,
and see if you can do
Play
some
with
stuff.
it,
yeah. So as I'm giving the presentation, suddenly colors all start changing. I'm like, someone figured it out. Who was it? Like over here. So it was really
pretty
fun.
cool.
It was just a real
So we're going to give away an
fun
Amazon
kind of
Echo
thing.
and a UFO.
UFOs are great.
We might give away a pair of shoes. Although it's hard to get with just the materials are not there. I got to figure that out.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So
All right,
we're going to
let's
wrap up
it
the
We've
reception.
been wrapping
dude.
up for a long time now. So wrap up. Thank you.
Tomorrow morning we'll do breakfast. We'll do some morning podcasting, afternoon podcasting. Tomorrow night there's a party.
Uh-huh.
So we might be live because I have the live rig to do live
There's a
from
party
the phone.
in my tummy. Go yummy, go yummy. There's
That's
a
exactly
party
right.
in
So
my
we might
tummy.
do a little bit of live and some H2N from somewhere at the party.
Okay.
That'll be kind of fun. And we'll be talking about stuff.
Stuff.
Follow us at
I like stuff.
pure_DT.
Yes.
Right? And Perf Bites, of course.
Perf Bites.
And we'll catch you
Well,
guys
it's not Perf
in the
Bites,
morning.
Of course, it's just Perf Bites.
Which is Perf Bites, yeah.
That's
Exactly. Any last thoughts?
42.
Lumber, 84 lumber.
44.
44 lumber?
No, it's my
84
age today.
lumber.
You know, it's my birthday today.
Get the hell out of here.
No, I'm not
Have
going to
you
get the hell out of
noticed
here. I'm
that
here for the
42 is
All right.
half of 84?
It
lumber?
is. And 42 is also... Oh,
Right,
Doug
hang on.
Adams was onto it. He knew.
He knew.
Doug Adams was a futurist.
All right, hang on a second.
Marcus doing one last thing as we're still not wrapped up yet.
Are you ready?
Oh, you're going to do some music?
The Outbound theme.
What does this mean?
The Perf Bites happy birthday.
You know happy birthday is now cleared.
I don't know why it's...
We'll see if Andy salsas his way over here as we close out the show.
Just want you to know that. And we care about you on your birthday.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow, live from Las Vegas. This is Brian signing off. Good night from Las Vegas. Have a great evening. Say good night, Mark.